Cabure. Last night led to an interesting conversation before I passed the fuck out. Basically, people were trying to learn how to flip the GTN, and I think I needed to do a more advanced guide. It's been on my list. But today I'm going to show you kind of what I'm talking about the return on investment. Anybody here that's a business major should be pretty self-explanatory. However, for those that don't know anything about flipping the GTN and the economy and game, you're pretty much playing the stock market. It's a high risk, high reward. If you are flipping the GTN, if you don't have a lot of credits and the wealthy title comes out at 10 million, I would just run heroics and play it safe until you can do that, because the only investment that you're putting into the game at that point is your time. I have a guide on Discord. It is under the hashtag making-credits. If you look at that, it shows you all the different ways with kind of metrics breaking down, because I'm a metrics guy. So as far as GTN flipping goes, it's really just buying cheap and selling high. And now there's advanced tactics to that. You can drive down prices so you can buy something cheaper, and you can drive prices up for worthless items. So what I was explaining last night to people is that the things that sell in the game are going to be things like mounts, pets, weapons, and lastly, outfits. Now, what do I mean by this? A lot of people say, well, Dash, why can't I just go and buy things on the cartel market? You can. There's nothing wrong with that. Thanks for supporting the game. The problem with it is, though, is that unless you're really lucky and you're the only one that has that off cooldown after, whatever, 36 hours or whatever it is, day and a half, you're boned. You're not going to make any money. So I was explaining this last night, so to catch the people up that do actually watch these guides, which aren't many, but I don't really care, is this. Decorations are probably one of the easiest things to flip if you do it right. So we're going to show you an example of doing something cheap. So I'm just going to randomly pick a decoration here that I think is going to be worth some cash. We're going to go see what it's worth on the GTN. Let's do cantina bar set, or bar cabinet. We'll do casino table large. And we will do, let's look, what's on another 80 cartel one. Let's just start with those. Okay, so as you can see here, you can buy those straight up out of the cartel market. Okay, so cantina bar cabinet, you can preview it. If I can move this off of my Twitch stream for tanks, preview. That's what it looks like. That's all it is. Okay. Now, the other thing that I want to mention here, for people that run guilds, the cheapest way to unlock decorations for your guild is to unlock it with credits. Okay. If you have something unlocked, if you own or anybody in your guild has it, you can purchase it for credits for 10,000 to a million. Way cheaper than trying to buy multiple copies. So that's a little tricky tidbit. But let's go take a look at this cantina bar cabinet. I'm not gonna buy one because I have plenty of credits. I'm gonna guess it's probably 1.8 mil, something like that, maybe higher. Unless people are flipping it. Okay, so that is bullshit. 9.25 mil. There were two of these the other day, but they weren't listed for this. So that guy's flipping them. At 9.25, you're buying them for 80 cartel coins. I mean, that's a pretty good deal. I'm not trying to drive the market down on that guy because he is in one of our allied guilds. But that's an example. Let's take a look at, what was the other one? I think I said casino table large. Well, let's just do casino table. Okay, so at the moment there are no casino tables on here, so this would be an example of you buy one, or if you have one laying around and you can, sell it for whatever. Those casino tables are kind of fun if you're RP kind of stuff. This is our guild ship. We use them for this. I don't know. I've spent way too much time decorating crap. Also, free PSA. The Vengeance, if you look at this, okay, I'm just going to show you. We'll release all our secrets. Mando Cabure has the Vengeance. We have the number 2 guild ship in the game by prestige because, I don't know, I guess prestige matters. I just spent too much on deco. It is listed publicly. You can travel to it. Another way to make money going into this, play these Contraband Cartel slot machines. Okay, they're free. Buy 50 tokens from the Felicia Stato statue behind the thing. The reputation it is now is, I believe, the Underworld Exchange. Okay, There you go. You can use it to buy those cartel market items down on the fleet. Those are always worth money because a lot of returning players have no idea. So if you do the Narshada Nightlife event and you raid with us, or you just raid, oh come on, stupid tabs. Here we go. Smuggler's Casino Chips. You get these from raids. This is all from raiding. I haven't bought a single one. You play the machines 2 to 4 at a time until you get Kingpin's casino chips, like 10 or 12, and then you get a lucky buff, and then you can play it and you get things. One of the things that drops now from the Narshada Nightlife event are these Cartel Market Certificates. You take it down into the bazaar on Fleet and you buy things like Revan's Mask for however many of these. The thing these are actually more useful for, if people don't know about the Cartel Market, the Twi'lek dancers that I have all over the ship. Let me see. These ones that we put in cages because we're Mandalorians or just nerds. But anyway, these chicks you can sell. Usually you can do like a mil, something like that. Also, not really worth your time. Flipping, getting back to that, I want to show you this. If you want to know what to flip or think you want to get into it into kind of the advanced GTNing, go to collections by hitting I, opening your inventory. Collections, you can view everything in the game. So if you look at recently added, you can see what they're adding into it. If you go to armor sets, and this is the trick that I do to see what things are coming out. If you go to the last page, you can see if anything new is coming out. Usually the last page of the of anything is what the new items are going to be. But here's what sells. The stuff that I usually flip are mounts, pets, and occasionally toys. Now, for the people that don't have a lot of credits, pets are where you want to start. What you have to know is, I had a conversation with people last night. Okay, if you're a guy and you like all these pretty little starfighters, you're probably not going to make that much money on it. You want to see a pet that you can flip that's stupid retarded and you can always overprice it, is this Juvenile Turtle. I don't know why Speedy, ever since they put that in on freaking Rishi, everybody likes it. I am sadly disappointed because I'm not going to waste my credits on a personal stronghold because I don't really care, and I can't feed Speedy on the Rishi Guild stronghold to get the horrible person title, which also makes me sad since I bought the damn thing and I am the guild leader. But let's go check to see what Juvenile Turtles are selling for. Usually they're above 500k, and if they're not, I'm going to buy them all out and I'm going to show you what we're talking about. So, Juvenile Turtle. Okay, so here's an example. Juvenile Turtle, pretty. It's a turtle, probably the only one in the game. 2.25 mil. Is it worth that? Probably not. You can snag them for $1 million. If they're under 100k, which they rarely are because people flip those, this is where you sell them. You can see that the rarity of the item is silver. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's a super rare drop or super common drop. That changed a while ago. So animal stuff always sells. Let's see, another one that is usually a pretty good seller. These low atmosphere probes, what I'm talking about is when you're flipping the market and you're having something specific, you have to find something that there's not a lot of. So as an example, the mini probes have 3 variants of that item, okay? All these other ones have stuff. The starships don't, but who do you actually see running around on Fleet with starships? Astromechs, unless it's a really interesting one, you're never really going to sell those for a lot unless someone's really dumb, because these are like the yearly, I'm subscribed, here's a free pet reward. SPRO power droids, they're kind of cool if you want something that freaks out with animation-wise when you're running across the ship. The Lisks, actually, I did flip back in the day and were worth a decent amount. But you basically just want to look through here and find out what doesn't have multiple copies. So if you looked at that, or here's another one, Devious Creep. Now the Devious Creep, I do believe you can buy on the Cartel market. But if you see here, the Turtle's the only one that's like that. So you find animal pets that you think are going to sell, that don't have multiple copies, that you see people running around with, or you don't see people running around with, and then you sell them. That droid might be worth some money, if there aren't any on the GTN. Let's check. Let's see. Anyway, what you also have to understand, going back to the Cartel market, is this. Anything that you can buy on the Cartel market that isn't ridiculously, stupidly overpriced is going to sell for a half-decent amount of money. So let's take a look at something. For those of you that don't know about these super awesome tidbits and don't have these, causality. Causality is pretty cool, but 1,200 cartel credits. Probably not worth your time to try to buy a bunch of those and flip. I believe the E1 Imperial Enforcer's 500 unless they upgraded it. Nope, it's 1,000. So that one you can usually get. I think this is listed for like 25 mil on the GTN right now. But any of these that you can buy are not worth your time. A trick, if no one knows what the Fira swords look like, I have guides on the Discord under hashtag space-barbie. Okay, it's basically the outfits. I link you to the ToR community and ToR fashion and all this other stuff where you can actually see the variants of those. So there are actually no Fira vibro swords. I'm going to let some people in on a trick. I stockpile stuff in the guild bank because I'm kind of like a pack rat sometimes. Those swords are kind of cool looking. I'll show you what they look like in a second here. Maybe these right here, Manon research data. I think it takes 4 of them. I snagged these off the exchange for the guild whenever they're like 20k. So Manon research data is good enough. So we'll snag that and snag that. It takes 4 of them. We'll grab those ones too because I don't really care. 75k is not worth my time. So anyway, I bought all this stuff. I'm going to show you what this freaking vibro sword looks like. You go to the Manon Flashpoint vendor and you buy this, and if you want to flip some items, then it's cool because people like sword-looking things. So I don't have one in here, so I guess I'm just going to have to go out there and show you what these damn things look like. Making me do stuff, trying to be lazy. So we're gonna head out here. A neat little tidbit is if you're trying to make cheap, pretty outfits and you don't want to sell stuff, or you're one of those people that will spend millions on outfits to buy the cartel costumes. If you have millions of credits, it's great if you want to unlock entire armor sets. Selling them wise, though, people don't, really do that. So if you look at mine, this is like my take on, I guess, era-appropriate Black Hole Trooper or whatever. All it is this. That's you get from Oricon Rep. This you get from the Heroic Lock Box. Military crates. That's a cartel market item. That's a cartel market item. That's a cartel market item, and that is too. So I mean, I have way too many outfits. Just made that one the other day. I still think it looks like ass. But yeah. So this chest piece, by the way, if you want Mando, this comes from Richie. Okay, so it's the closest you can get to a modern Mandalorian. Also covered in Space Barbie. And that kind of stuff. But you can make a lot of cool stuff doing that. So let's go talk to this stupid vendor, if I remember where the heck it is, because I don't ever leave the guild chip. I think it's way over there. Dash, okay. Certainly someone got farmed in Hammer Station. We break the game. Alright, so you come over to this vendor. This should be the Flashpoint vendor for you. Okay, so those Fear of Vibro swords I was talking about, literally this right here. 4 of these research data, and it looks like that. Okay, so I'm just gonna buy one, fuck it, because there are none on the GTN. Buy 2. The Electro Staff is pretty much the same setup. That's what it looks like. You can get those. And then we're going to head back to the guild ship, and I'm going to list it for a ridiculous amount of money. And we'll see if it sells, because there are none on the market. So when you're flipping the GTN like this, you want to basically list high at something ridiculous that you don't think will ever sell. And then you pull out all the people that have it, and if they're smart, they'll try to list it at whatever they are. If they're really smart, then they'll undercut you down to what it's worth and sell it quickly. So what we're going to do is this. I'm going to go back here, Fear of Vibro Sword, none. Is this worth what I'm listing it for? Absolutely not. So 7.25 mil on the list one is the only one on the GTN. If I wanted to be a jerk and quick sell it, then I would swap to another tune and I would list that at, I don't know, like 5 mil or something like that. But basically, that's what we're talking about. Remember, whenever you're doing GTN flipping, it's all about just finding a niche market. Look at what you buy. Look at what you're gonna, go out and buy right now in the game if it dropped. Armor sets, the problem with that is you can really only get them from off the Cartel market. So you want to look for stuff that's not on the Cartel market to do that. Take a look in collections, look around. There's multiple things. For those that play on the Republic side, MA35 forward ops chest plates. I believe it's the Phobium variant of the armor. It's the only place you can get that for the Republic if you're crafting it. If you're Imperial, you pretty much have to buy this chest piece if you want that Stormtrooper look. But just take a look around. There's tons of stuff. The Resolute Protector set is like a really ghetto set of like Season 1. And if you take a look at the skins, because ToR's lazy, literally this chest guard is the same one that I'm wearing now, just without a backpack. But backpacks are cool. You can also dye that white red to make it look like it's bloody. So that's it for now. I'll probably change this video later, but there's your basic setup.